Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura B Flosstube. Welcome or welcome back. I'm so glad you joined me today. This is Flosstube number 64. It is September 3rd, 2024. I'm coming to you from the lovely Columbia, Missouri, and we're going to talk about everything I've done with my cross stitch and quilting and other things this past month and get you up to date with where I'm at with all the things. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into cross stitch, and I have lots of things to share with you. I'm so excited. Thanks so much for understanding that I needed to kind of dial back on my floss tubes to once a month. School this semester is going to be a tough one, so I just need to kind of downsize the amount of videos I need to record for a specific date on a specific date. So anyway, we're going to jump into cross stitch and share all the things I've done. I did go back and watch, Flosstube 63 this morning because I wanted to figure out where I was at the last Flosstube because I wasn't really sure what I had shared and what I had showed you and where I was at with these projects. And then I was like, wow, I really have done a lot of progress on these stitches. So the first one is Pumpkin Lane, and this is a design by Pansy Quilts and Stitchery. It is a 9-part series. There are 9 houses in this stitch. This is the third. It is the maple house. It is finished. Now, if you've watched my floss tubes in the past when I talk about this stitch, you know that I am kind of downsizing what I'm stitching on these. I'm not doing that bottom border on any of the houses. I am doing the top and the house and all the decorations. And then I've also done my own thing for the dividers between the houses just because I wanted to make the stitch a little smaller for framing. And I just wanted to pick out what I liked about each design and only do that part. So here's the third house, and I even have a start on the fourth house. Now it's not a big one, but it is a start. So let me unfold and find. So here's my start on the fourth house. I did go ahead and start putting some of the divider down just so I would know where to start my greenery. And I'm working right to left instead of left to right because I wanted to get this spacing right for the greenery on the top of this on house 4. So house 4 is the sunflower house, and I'm super excited to get it done. We'll talk about goals and things like that later on. The last thing I want to do is just show you where I'm at with the design and whole, and it's a big piece of fabric because the design was actually done on 18 count and I'm using 14, so my design's going to be, or my finished project is going to be much bigger. But here is the first 3 houses, and you can see part of the fourth down there as well. So I do have the pumpkin house, the chrysanthemum house, and the maple house done. And again, this is the houses on Pumpkin Lane by Pansy Quilts and Stitchery. I am stitching this on a 28 count Lugana. I am using DMC thread, but they're not the called for. I didn't get all of the called for colors. I just kind of matched them up as close as could be. And that's how I'm stitching my pumpkin houses. All right, so the next stitch I have to share is Stitchonomy. You might remember that I downloaded all the patterns back in 2022. They had a free Halloween stitch along called the Cabinet of Curiosities, and my goal for August was to get days 1 through 10 done. I had the border done, I think, in July, but for August I wanted to get 1 through 10 done, and let me show you what I've completed. So I do have days 1 through 10 completed for Cabinet of Curiosities. You can see the curiosities there at the bottom. I basically chose DMC threads. I did not go with what they called for. I just picked out the colors that were close match or colors that I liked, and I have days through 1 through 10 completed. Now, the one thing I want to mention about this stitch is that, like I said, it was a free stitch along in 2022, but you can buy the entire pattern on their Etsy shop, and it's a really nice pattern. I don't know if she's done this design for Pattern Keeper, but I am importing the daily little designs into Pattern Keeper and just setting the chart and all of that good stuff, and that way I can kind of just use my tablet because all the patterns are digital and I got tired of trying to zoom in on my phone and everything. So I just been using my tablet with Pattern Keeper and importing each one of those for the days and just working my way through the list. So like I said, for August, I wanted to get days 1 through 10 completed, and those are done. Another August goal, let me see. I didn't turn my charts around or anything, so I gotta be careful. Another August goal was to start the the 2016 Prairie Schooler Santa. In my last floss tube, I called it the 1996. It is not the 1996 Santa. It is the 2016 Prairie Schooler Santa. This is all I've gotten done for him, but it is started, and that was the goal for August. So I'm very happy that I was able to just get this little bit done. And this is just like part of his jacket and the top of his legs. Moving on to another August goal was the Lori Holt Stitch Card Set U, and that was the 4 stars. So I have progress to share on that too. And I just left this one in the hoop because I've been kind of working on it a little bit. But I do have the first star done, and I decided that I'm going to do all 4 stars in a grouping of 4. And then I'm going to put the border around all 4 of them rather than individually. So I chose the pink because the 4 squares are the other 4 colors in the design, besides white, I think. I want to go with the pink border because it's not used in any of the squares outlining the stars. So that's where I chose pink. And I do still need to kind of figure out how to do that border so it breaks evenly at the corner, and how to space the stars so it is in the right spot. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it though. All right, and again, that's Lori Holt Stitch Card Set U. Links to that and all the designs I'm showing are in the description box below. All right, so I would have made more progress on the Santa and the stars if, and maybe the pumpkin lane too, if my husband wouldn't have surprised me with a chart by Twin Peaks Primitives. He bought me the I'll Be Home Till Christmas Sloth by Twin Peaks. It's a really nice pattern, you guys. I love the way they did this on the inside. There's a black and white and a color. I used the color when I was stitching, and it was really nice and easy to follow. And I would say the only thing that was kind of tricky to follow along was just that the tops of the lights are actually a different color than the strand, although I think you could have done them in black and it'd been fine. And that was kind of hard to see on the color design. And I actually referred to the black and white with just the symbols and was able to figure out that that was where that other color was going. Because I had this one color in the pack, but I was like, I haven't used this color. Where does this color go? And that's where it's at. It's in the little tops for the lights. So yeah, he bought me the pattern and the floss pack from Fat Quarter Shop, and that was so amazing. And it was kind of cute though, because he was like, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I have this one piece of cloth that I'll just use and get it stitched. And he's like, it didn't come with the cloth. And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, what was that big, the pattern? He's like, what was that big thing that I bought you then? And I was like, that's just the pattern. And he's like, is that like normal? They don't give you the cloth? And I'm like, yeah, that's normal, because then you can choose your own. You can decide if you want to do Ada or linen or Lugana or Monaco or whatever you want to do. You can choose your own type of cloth and count. So yes, that's normal. But anyway, it was kind of cute. He just got to learn something with cross stitch. I think it's the first cross stitch pattern that he's purchased for me. So, you know, that was kind of a learning curve, I guess, for him. He's bought me lots of quilting stuff, but never cross stitch. So anyway, I was so excited because we kind of have a thing for sloths. We even did a behind the scenes tour at the St. Louis Zoo with their sloth, and it was super fun. So we kind of have a thing for sloths. So anyway, the chart did not show to put any words on this, but I just could not resist because I love the title of this chart. So I do have the sloth completely done. Can you believe that? I was like, he got it and I saw it and I was like, oh, I gotta start that. And then I got started and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep stitching until it's done because I absolutely adore it. So here's my little I'll Be Home Till Christmas sloth. And that stitch is completed. All right, so the rest of the stuff I'm just gonna kind of talk about. I have some quilting stuff. First of all, the Hometown Sampler with Fat Quarter Shop is starting this month. I think it's next Monday that they're starting that. I still haven't decided if I'm gonna do it. I might start the stitch. I don't know about the quilt because I have other quilts that I'm working on. Hopefully you've been watching the Lori Holt Be Happy quilt sew along series that I'm doing. I have lots of those videos out there and then lots more recorded and ready to be posting every Thursday now through November 7th, I believe. So be watching for those. And I honestly have that quilt top done. I finished it yesterday. So I'm kind of happy because I have videos scheduled to be posted, and it kind of gives me a little breather with class this semester. So in addition to that, I'm also planning on starting the Lori Holt Let's Build a Snowman. I have not started that. This is the second week for that so long, but I have not started it yet. I haven't even gotten the fabric out of the box. I bought the kit from Fat Quarter Shop. So I will be working on that when I get time. But yesterday I also cut out a bunch of t-shirts because I'm doing a t-shirt quilt for a couple of friends as a memorial quilt for his father who recently passed away. So I have that to work on. I also have that Oberlin Star that I talked to you about on the last Flosstube for one of our friends. And let's see, yeah, that's kind of my quilting. That's where I'm at. I do have a couple other little quilting projects that are kind of in the wings that I want to get started, but I don't know when, and I don't even know if it'll happen this year. So at some point, those quilts will be happening. I do want to give you an Etsy update because on Tuesdays, instead of Flosstubes every other week, on Tuesdays, I'm posting a series on the pink vintage quilt that I cut apart to do projects with. And all of those items, for the most part, are going to be listed in my Etsy shop for sale. So be watching for the videos and then head on over to the Etsy shop and pick up the stuff. Right now, I have a table runner in the shop, and I will be posting some additional things. In fact, I may post out some products from that quilt before the videos post. So just kind of, you know, check in occasionally onto my Etsy shop. Make sure you follow it or you subscribe, I think is what they call it on Etsy. And that way you'll get notifications when I post new items in the store. All right, so let's talk about goals. I talked through a little bit of my August goals when we were going through them, but for August, I did have, most of my stuff was done. The cross stitch, the Cabinet of Curiosities, the Pumpkin Lane, the Stitcher, the 2016, yeah, I met all of my cross stitch goals for August. So everything was either started or completed as I hoped for, which was crazy because I cannot believe that I got all of that done, plus the cute little sloth that my husband surprised me with. So lots of stitching in August, even though it didn't really feel like it at the time, but apparently there's been lots of stitching in August. All right, so as far as quilts, I did complete the Lori Holt Be Happy Sew Along, and I did not get the purple quilt cut out, and I didn't get the snowman started. So I guess quilting I slacked off on, but I really focused on the Be Happy quilt, and I'm so happy I did that because, like I said, it's gonna like build in some breathing time for me with class this semester. So September goals, let's talk about those really quick, and then we will wrap up. September goals, I'm still on the fence, although I put it down, but I don't know if I'm going to actually do it or not. The Hometown Holiday Sampler that Fat Quarter Shop is starting next week. I think I might start it in September, but I don't know if I'm going to try to keep up with their schedule, just because I have other things I'm stitching too. So it's an iffy. I don't know. I can't decide which way I'm going with that. If I do, I don't even want to say that. So anyway, so Pumpkin Lane, I put down that I wanted to start House 4, which I've already started. So I'm just going to say progress on House 4. I'm not going to try to complete it this month because I do want to try to get the 2016 Prairie Schooler Santa finished and the Lori Holt Stitch Cards Set U finished. So if I feel like if I get those two things done and days 11 through 20 for the Cabinet of Curiosities, if I get those 3 things done, then that is going to be great for September. I will be super happy with that, and I will be happy with that progress. So as far as quilting, I do want to, oh, I have down here finish the Lori Holt Be Happy quilt, which I did yesterday. So technically I already met that goal for September. Yay. I cut out the shirts for the t-shirt quilt that I'm doing, which I also did yesterday. So I'm going to say making progress on that. I also want to cut out the Oberlin Star and get started on that Let's Build a Snowman because it is so super cute, you guys. But additionally, on my quilting, this is what I have got to get done by next Thursday. I have sleeves to sew on 3 quilts because our guild is having a local quilt show. So if you're in the Columbia, Missouri or surrounding area, we have our quilt show next weekend at the Community United Methodist Church. I'll put the information in the description box below because I am horrible at that information right now, apparently. But I'm going to have 6 quilts in the show, so I'm super excited about that. In the show is going to be Mercantile Sampler, How to Build a Scarecrow, How to Build a Scarecrow. I have a couple. The tea towel quilt is going to be in it. One of my friendship quilts is going to be in it. And I have 2 others that are going to be in it as well. So if you're in the Columbia area and you want to come see an amazing show, make sure you do that. Admission is $5 and you get to walk through the entire show. We have over 200 quilts that are going to be on display. Plus, we're going to have a bunch of stuff in the marketplace that you can purchase. So that'll be super fun to just go through all of the handmade items. And we also have books and fabric and cross-stitch kits and project bags and all kinds of stuff in the marketplace that you can purchase for your own stash and collection. We also have silent auction coming up on that one too. And we also have 2 quilts for opportunity that you just buy raffle tickets basically. And you can enter for your chance to win one of those 2 quilts. And they're both gorgeous quilts. So all of that is kind of where I'm at, what I've been working on, what I've been doing. And obviously school has started back up, so I'm super busy with that. And work continues on, so I'm busy with that. And yeah, that's kind of where I've been at in the last month. So like I put on the community tab, I do plan on doing floss tubes just once a month for the rest of this year. And then hopefully in January, I'll start doing every other week, depending on what my other video series are doing. So, but until next time, I hope you guys are finding joy in all you do. Carve out some time for crafting and creating, and make sure it is always happy stitching.